Do you want to see this thing or not really?
We're on.
No, we don't need to see. Go.
We're on.
All right.
There we go.
Hey,
and we're live.
we're here.
Hi, guys.
We made it. All right, guys. Welcome to the Real Empowerment and Connection Hour. And who wants to do their introduction first? Or do we just want to get into the meat of the show? Do we just want to get into the content of the show?
It.
Let's just get into it. Okay, good.
Get into it.
Yeah.
All right. Miss Marva, lead the way. Lead the way.
Well, I have my lookers on, and now I'm going to put my seers on.
I wear them both at the same time, so.
Okay, so I've been tasked to bring the message tonight. And I want to talk about, I guess I found something on character. And I was thinking about that about us, and I did find something in this book that I gave my grandmother in 1976. And I kept it. But people who are faithful in that which is least wear very radiant crowns. They are the people who are great at little task. They are scrupulous in the ruddy roads of drudgery. They win triumphs amid small irritations. They are as loyal when wearing an apron in the kitchen as if they wore purple and fine linen in the visible presence of the king. They finish the most obscure bit of work as if it were to be displayed before an assembled heaven of him who is Lord of light and glory. Great souls are those who are faithful in that which is least.
Beautiful.
And that's that.
Beautiful.
I had a little interruption, Marva. Do you mind repeating it?
I don't.
Thank you.
The reason I said it like that, because I had closed the book and I was hoping I could get back to the page. Okay, people who are faithful in that which is least wear very radiant crowns. They are the people who are great in little task. They are scrupulous in the ruddy road of drudgery. They win triumph amid small irritations. They are as loyal when wearing aprons in the kitchen as if they wore purple and fine linen in the visible presence of a king. They finish the most obscure bit of work as if it were to be displayed before an assembled heaven of him who is Lord of light and glory. Great souls are those who are faithful in that which is least. And and when I read that, I thought about Lisa. When I pulled that out, that's who I was thinking about, and how she's doing these things for us with this technology with no complaint, and we don't know the little things that she does for us behind the scenes to make this go. And when I saw that, you know, and that's just such a great display of character, that people who do things behind the scene and ask for nothing, like pats on the back for doing that, or even tell you what the little things are. So that was my takeaway from that on a personal level with what we're going through right now.
Well, I know that when I first started the group, I sent a message to Lisa, and she messengered me by video, and she took the time out. It must have been at least an hour to speak to me and to make me feel at ease. And that did a lot for me, and it meant a lot. So yeah, what you're saying, Marva, is true about Lisa. Yeah, she wears that apron. Thank you, Lisa.
And you don't want to know what all she's done for me.
Oh, this has turned into the Lisa show. I'm liking this.
Yeah, enjoy it, girl.
I wouldn't even been able to get on here.
The part,
how many hours?
the part about the apron, yeah, that does stand out to me, because even when, and you guys are like that too, because I see that in y'all, you know, those little things, even when you do a small task for someone else, like you do it with 150% effort, not just, oh, well, there you go. You know, it's like you ask them, are you good? You got it? You need a little more help? Are you okay? You know, and I see that in our chat. I see that in our chat a lot, you know, that we're sharing little things here and there, you know, like today it was all about where to find the graphics and how to do that. And we're sharing videos with each other and we're getting unstuck together, you know.
And the health things that we share with each other, about the herbs and all of that. It's all so helpful.
Yeah. To me, it feels kind of like, you know, I envision, you know, I'm a visionary person. So I envision, you know, it takes me back to tribal Indian times, you know, when these lands were had all the Indians, and the women would sit, you know, together and would share and talk. And there was always a medicine woman, and Marva, you come to mind with that. And, you know, and then there's the younger, you know, the younger ones, and, you know, they're looking for their hunter, you know, we're going to get her with the right man, and, you know, have those babies and raise those children. And then there's the middle ones that are passing on their knowledge and their skills. And I don't know, that just, what comes to mind in this group, it just brings that kind of a vision to me.
We embody the maiden, the mother, and the crone.
Yes.
Archetypes.
Thank you. You said that a lot more eloquently than I did.
Well, when we bring the graduates on, then we'll have the maidens.
Yes.
We just got other crones here right now.
Yes.
Absolutely. I can't wait until Aisha joins this group as a guest. She's ready. She's ready. If she would come on right now, she's ready to do this.
And how old is she?
She's 17.
Oh yeah, we'll have go get her. No. Go get her, get on there.
Yeah, that's kind of right down your alley, Lisa.
Yeah, bring her on. Yeah. She's going to get her like now.
And where's Ashley? She would be in that.
She's she's beautiful. Look at her.
Now we've got a maiden.
Yes.
Hi.
Wow,
Hi.
so pretty. So tell us what you're struggling with the most with this whole social distancing and everything. What are you struggling with?
It's just a little hard not being in school because this is my last year of high school, and the weather's getting warm, and I was really looking forward to making new memories with my friends during this time of the year. And it's just kind of sad that it's ending this way, but I know that I have a lot of exciting things in store in college and stuff like that, so I guess I'll be okay.
So what things are you doing to kind of get through it? Are you Zooming with your friends, or tell us what you guys use, because we all use this Zoom thing, but are there other things out there?
Yeah, a lot of the times we just use FaceTime, and like we stay in touch through social media and all that jazz.
Cool. Very cool. So have you been listening to the show?
Yeah, I watched the last episode. My mom showed it to me. It was really cute. I was happy to see it.
Ain't you proud of your mama?
Yes, I'm so proud of her.
Yes.
It's really, I'm proud of all of you. It's so sweet that you guys are all doing this together. It's a really great thing. It's really nice to see.
It feels good. It does feel good. And we're trying to figure out a way that we want to solve that prom problem for everybody. That's a nationwide problem. We got a lot of seniors that are not feeling good about this season right now because they're so disconnected. But you guys are so ingenious. You come up with these things. I know when I was doing my teen program, I would do a program and then someone would say, oh, the video's up. And I was like, what video are you talking about? And they would have a Vine video back when Vine was a thing. And yeah, do you remember Vine? And
yes,
so
I used to love Vine.
we did, and she'd have a video up on wherever, and she's like, yeah, I already videoed the whole thing. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she had like this little, I don't know how many second clip of our whole meeting, and she had a little commercial, and I'm like, how did you do
That's
that? Yeah. I love working with young people because they keep us young and keep us informed on what's going on.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So what else are we going to talk about, ladies?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Let me think. I'm trying to think. Today I took a blanket and I sat outside and did my work outside today.
I saw that picture you posted. It was beautiful.
I
You
did.
could see your feet. Were you having a picnic or something?
I had actually I carried out my little charger and my drink and my little tripod-y thing. It was too much to carry. Like I'm fumbling, so I just threw it all in a picnic basket and took it out there. And I had 2 dogs, 3 cats, my daughter, and then my mom showed up.
I'm needing some outside time too. I was talking about that today. I need to get out of the house because I'm so busy doing what I'm doing, the sewing and all of that stuff, and the day gets away from me, and then it's dark. But I've got to make some time specifically to get outside, and I recommend that to anybody because I know there's lots of elders out there who are not going outside for whatever reason, even if you just walk to the end of your driveway and back.
Yes.
To get outside to break the monotony of the inside and of the television.
And even if you just get in the car and go for a ride, that works too. Because I did that today. I felt so locked in. I had to get away. So my granddaughter came, picked me up, and it was only a 15-minute drive, but it helped a lot. Yeah.
Did you turn the radio up?
Oh, we were listening to music, dancing, and we were very happy, very content. Very content. We could have kept on going, but yeah.
I did that yesterday. I went to go pick up some yard eggs from some neighbors down the road, and we have this system now. I keep my window rolled up. She like double bags it, and then I'll put the money out the window, and she puts it in my back seat. So then when I get home, I just take off the outside bag. It's great. We have a system. But anyway, I rode down there, and I had the sunroof open, and I had the radio blare, and I was just like, wow, this feels so good for a minute. Till I have to go back home. But yeah, music definitely heals. Definitely makes you feel better.
Look, Aisha got that smile thing down, girl. You got it.
I am trying. It feels more natural now. It does feel more natural.
Yeah.
Did you do the Vaseline thing?
Well, you know what? My secret weapon today was that my mom is here. That feels really good.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. Haven't seen her in person.
That's your superpower.
My mom came to visit. She had conquered the store. She had toilet paper.
Yeah.
I saw that. That was so adorable. The way she took the toilet paper out of the car, and she's like, and you're like, oh, you got toilet paper.
It was, she was like the warrior. She was bringing in the kill. I was like, Mom, what are you doing? You need some toilet paper? I got toilet paper. Put that away.
Yeah.
But these are the things that make us happy and make us laugh, and she shares her toilet paper. She's not a hoarder, but she has a table at her house, and she's like, do you need anything? And she like sends me a picture of her table, and we eat differently. So I was like, nope, I don't need nothing on there because it's all in a box. I don't.
Yeah.
I eat like fresh vegetables and stuff usually, and she eats more of things in a box. So I don't know.
So that's the secret.
Ma'am?
And how old is she?
My mom is 72. She'll be 73 Yeah, 73 in July. Yep.
She looks
So
good.
did you guys have permission?
To share? Oh, she don't care. She don't care. She'll watch it. She's proud. She is so proud. My mom, she had never been in the hospital for any length of time in all of her years. And I don't remember her ever being in the hospital in my lifetime, except I think when I was like 8 or 9, and she had to go in the hospital for one reason or another. It was a day surgery thing. But so up until last year, and then she had to have blood transfusions. And that was like a game changer. Like, but we tell her she just needed to fill up her tank and she's good to go now. Like, she's good. And it's funny because she's just so grateful to have gotten through everything she went through. And it was a pretty serious, she had a bleeding ulcer and she didn't know it. And it was really large. And anyway, not to tell all of her personal stuff, but she went through a really hard time and was hospitalized for almost a week. And it threw us all for a loop, you know. And I'm the caregiver. I'm the one that takes over. I'm the one that makes sure everybody's okay. I'm the first at the hospital usually, you know, that kind of thing. And last year we had everyone except me and my husband. Me, my husband, and my brother weren't in the hospital. Everybody else was. My daughter made several trips. My mom was in the hospital. My stepdad, we almost lost him. I mean, it was just one right after the other. And it was pretty crazy. It was very, it was a test of my endurance for sure. It was definitely a test of my endurance. So.
Also about us, you know, I think people watching us and listening to us need to see that we are going through the same exact things that you're going through out there.
Yes.
And we just kind of decided to set it aside for this hour and come. There's all of us on this panel had experienced some kind of close death since we've been talking in these 2 weeks. Somebody that we know has died or become seriously ill in just a short while. And, you know, we go through our sadness, we go through what we go through, but we pick up and we keep going. We keep going and we can't stop. And that's the beauty of having a tribe, because they keep you on your feet.
Yes.
It's just like with the horses, once you're off your feet, it's not good. So to have people around to keep you on your feet, no matter what you're going through, because we're all going through something. This has been a game changer. I don't think there'll be anybody who will not be touched in some way by COVID-19. In some way, that either personally losing someone or someone you love losing someone, that we'll all be personally touched, and we still have to go on.
Mm-hmm. And even without the loss, just the feel of lack of control and not being able to reach the ones we can reach out to. You know, just like my family's, I was supposed to be in New York this week and I can't travel to see my brother who's still in rehab in the hospital. My mom, I worry about her, you know, because she's an elder, and it's just hard to feel like you can't just get up and go.
That's the hard part. And not everybody has Facebook and this technology. Like, you have to old school reach out to people. And, you know, we're used to just driving into the driveway and checking on people, you know, getting out, hey, you okay? And now, I mean, Kathy lives nearby and I've been to her house once in the last, has it been 6 weeks now? I think it's 5 or 6 weeks.
It's all running together for me.
Yeah, it's it feels really surreal actually. Like, it's like, when are we gonna wake up from this dream, you know, that we're all involved in? It's kind of strange.
On Sunday, I came by because it was my birthday. I came by and they baked the cake for me. We were outside in the front lawn, and people were just stopping just to hear my family sing happy birthday to me. It was so surreal. And yeah, people are just, they want to continue with their lives, and this COVID-19 is just stopping everything. And just a simple little thing as somebody singing happy birthday, I'm a stranger, and they all just, gathered and watched and smiled, I don't know. Sometimes I think that, COVID-19 is doing a lot of harm, but it's also doing a lot of good. People are realizing a lot of things and are trying to, change the way that they do things. I know that I am. I hope that everybody else is too, because this is like, it's an awakening.
That's the word I was looking for. I sent a video to you guys in the chat. And for those, I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it, or you may have misinterpreted the title to it, but it was Oprah Winfrey's interview.
I saw that.
And something that she said, well, the beginning was kind of like, you got to get through a little bit of the beginning, because it looked like just a news report at first. And I was like, oh, I hope they don't think it's a news report, because it's not. And it talked about that. She talked about, if this period that we're going through, this thing that we're going to, because it will pass, to quote her, she said, I don't want to know, if people aren't awakened through this, I don't want to see what it would take to awaken them. And that just really stuck with me when she said that. I'm like, yeah, some people aren't. It doesn't matter what you do. They're just closed to it. Yeah, they're closed to it. Or they're so hurt maybe that they just don't know how to find their way out of it. I don't know, but I'm seeing a lot of people that are waking up and being very grateful and spending their time doing very productive, loving, caring things for one another. And how about y'all? Are y'all seeing that too, or are you seeing more of the opposite?
I'm seeing like a lot of connecting, like for instance, Millie and we lived in the same state for such a long time, and we've never connected the way we're connecting now. I see me connecting with Aisha more. I see more connecting than anything else. I think people are like we are, gathering, getting together and connecting. I don't see how could I put it? I don't see, that's the change that I see. I see more people connecting. That's the change that I see.
I'm seeing a lot more of people going inside and really examining who they are as a person and who they want to be. On the other side of this, I see a lot of, in talking to people, a lot of, for lack of a better word, a lot of spiritual growth, where they're seeing that they've been living a life that was not their choosing. If they had chosen their life, they wouldn't have chosen that. It's been about survival, get the food in the house, get the rent paid, get this and that, and less of the connection that we so desperately need. And I think that on the other side of this, I think we're going to see people connect differently. It's going to be something else, because they've had that time that real life doesn't afford them on the outside before this. They just didn't have time to go in the quiet. And now they have no choice. There's many people who are living one person in the house. They have no choice but to go inside. Or if 2 or 3 in the house, they're in separate rooms. No choice. And I think the Creator did this on purpose. I really, really do.
You're right, Mama.
So much just running around, being disconnected. This is a great opportunity to reconnect with who we are. And I think once we do that, we're going to treat each other much better. Yes. That's what I'm hoping for.
That's a good out there, because all of us getting inside is kind of hard, and some of us don't like what we see, and that's part of the catch-22. It's great to look inside, but to be willing to do the work to get past that, because we're made a certain way, and everyone, I struggle with that myself. I want to sit, and sometimes the resistance I get is because I don't like what I see, or I'm not ready to see that truth, or I don't have the courage to work on that. Today I wanted to get creative, and I just, like I said, I've been feeling kind of melancholy and just like jittery, like something's got to do, the looming feeling of work pending. Like I'm starting to like this new for normal for me. And my boss calls me like, hey, did you get the equipment we're sending? I'm like, ain't get it yet. They're very supportive. They're like, if you want to stay home, stay home. And I'm like, to the point where I'm just ready to put my hands up. If I don't get it, I'm, I mean, if I have to go to work, I'll go into the office, and they're very, supportive. But, instead of painting, which is usually my go-to, I just felt like that wasn't going to be enough. I said, I need to switch it up and do something different. So I pivoted, and I decided to pull my tarot deck out, and I did a reading for myself. And I ended up calling Margaret to see if she wanted me to do a reading for her. And after that reading, my reading, I wanted to reflect on it more, and that gave me that vehicle to look inside. And, I'm coming up with a poem based on that interpretation and what those, that reading meant for me and that message, because, I needed something to take me there.
Yeah, this has definitely brought me out of my shell. I don't think that if this was, if COVID-19 didn't happen, I would still be sitting at home, doing nothing. And now, I really want to explore and, appreciate things more and, get inside myself and figure out who I am. Like, like I said, I'm 62. I know that I'm not that old, but still, life is just ticking, and I wasn't doing anything. So, yeah.
So you have an awareness now. Yeah, you're more
That's
conscious
like
of the time.
Yeah, Mama said it. I mean, exactly the way I feel. Mm-hmm. She just like went into my heart and said everything that I was feeling inside.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the time for you.
And we found that at our house, I don't know about y'all, but like our groceries are lasting a lot longer. I'm really conscious of, making sure that we are rotating this stuff in the fridge. I mean, we were okay at that before, but I know at the end of the week I was throwing stuff away. And we have a composter, so I didn't feel 100% guilty. I felt, because we process it, so to speak, to the best we can. But there's some things that you just can't. And sometimes we were going through just containers of stuff, just taking it for granted that we had enough. Mm-hmm. And now it's kind of like, oh, we got to make this, and we're planning a little bit more, and we're communicating a little bit more about, what we want. I know, Kathy, you're awesome at that, because I've been to, I've heard you like meal prep before, make your little, your veggie patties and stuff like that. You're really good at that.
Because I don't like to cook. I get it all done at once, and then I just have to go get it when I'm hungry.
Yeah. See, I didn't meal prep that much before, so that this has been kind of neat to be able to do a little bit more of that. And I think I've even lost weight during this time. Like, I'm not stress eating. Like, I am.
I gained from here to there, because I think I gained another roll.
Yeah. Having my husband home. We eat breakfast 2 hours later. What's for lunch, honey? 2 hours. We eat lunch 2 hours later. What's for dinner? I'm like, come on.
Yeah. When I'm at work, I'll eat 2 meals a day. When I'm at home on the weekends, I'm eating 3 to 4 meals. And now we're going to sleep later. And like, just when I'm ready to go to sleep, or we're up till 2 watching TV, we're both looking at each other like, I'm hungry. It's like 12 o'clock. I'm like,
So I've been saving my shopping. Sure, I haven't been out shopping much at all. So, and I pretty much shop in the produce area. So I went and I just fill my basket up with stuff. So what I do is what Kathy, I have made collard greens, mustard greens, cabbage, spinach, kale, and Brussels sprouts. And I've cooked all of those things, put them in serving size bags, and put them in the freezer. So when it's time for me to eat, if I'm gonna have some meat, I'll pull that out. If not, I'll just pull the greens out, eat that, and be satisfied. So I'm really, really busy for 2 days. And then I don't have anything hardly to do for the next 2 weeks.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I went through a kick where I was eating potatoes every day, though. I did do that.
Yeah.
I was like microwaving a couple of potatoes to like make them like they were baked potatoes, and then slicing them and slicing and dicing, as I call it, and then throwing them in a skillet with some olive oil and some garlic, salt, and pepper, and putting a few fried eggs over that. And that was every day I was eating that. I'm like, okay, I got to change this up. That's too much potatoes, you know.
You might have needed some potassium. You know, your body asks for what it wants.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Speaking
true.
of potassium, I can't find bananas for the last 2 weeks. There
Oh,
are
no.
no bananas and no lemons. Are you
Oh
guys
yeah, the
experiencing
lemons are
that
hard
now?
to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were plenty
Yeah.
of avocados. My husband came home with like 10 avocados the other day, and he's in the supermarket like, should I get the avocados? And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
you know, avocados are funny. They're not good, and then they're good, and then they're bad.
Yeah.
I got a
But he
hack
got the
for that.
avocados, and they were all perfect.
My
What's your hack?
friend, she taught me this. She's from Spain, and she does a lot of meal prep stuff because she's just by herself now. But she said avocados, make sure they're kind of soft, and then if you're not going to use them all, cut them in half, take the pit out or the seed out, and then freeze them in sandwich size bags, the halves.
Freezing.
Yep, freeze them.
I've never heard of that.
And then just pull them out. And she
Okay.
said they stay real pretty. And then you
They
just
don't
leave them
turn.
on. They don't turn. I got them in my freezer right now.
Well, what I learned
Bright
with
and
the
pretty green.
avocados, yeah,
Good
to
to
make them
know.
not turn is I put saran wrap, because basically what turns
Yes.
them is they oxidize. So like if you make guacamole and you just cover up the pot, the air that's inside of the container is going to turn it.
And
But if
squeeze
you-
lemon.
Yeah.
Squeeze all that out. Yeah, the lemon, it'll stay green. It won't
Yeah.
turn.
That's true,
Yes,
right?
and avocados are also a good substitute for bananas in smoothies.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
avocados, since I can't find bananas.
I
Yeah.
don't
The
like
avocado
bananas.
in the
I don't have
smoothie.
avocado in my smoothie because I don't like smoothies because they taste like banana. I'm like, I want a strawberry smoothie. Why do I taste banana? I'm like,
I like the creaminess that the banana brings. So that's
She just
why.
doesn't. Millie just doesn't like the banana
Right.
flavor.
I can eat like
Overwhelmed.
yellow plantains fried, but I don't eat like straight banana. I feed it to my kids. I'll have
Me either. Mm-mm.
but
But yeah, I don't like straight banana either. No, yeah,
We're
too
welcome.
much.
It feels funny in your mouth. That yeah.
Yeah.
The texture. Y'all have a problem with the
Texture
texture.
problem with the bananas.
Yeah, but you'll eat an avocado. I don't understand.
Avocados are so good, especially with some rice and beans. Oh, can't go wrong with that.
But I like
Okay.
banana smoothies.
Yeah.
Like banana with something or just banana, Martha?
With something.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Have you
Okay,
tried the
we're
banana
still full then.
smoothies with peanut? They have peanut butter powder, and it tastes
Yes.
like a Reese's. It's so good. Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah. I forgot what you call it. PN something. It comes in a
A container. Yeah, it's protein. It's like a peanut butter protein
Yeah.
powder. Yeah, actually,
Oh,
your Kathy, Wendy brought it over to me one day because I said I was trying to mimic one of the smoothies at one of the smoothie places, and she's like, "Oh, I know the hack for that," and she brought me a big old container of it.
I'm gonna have
Really
to get
good.
some. That would be nice to add some protein because
Mhm.
I'm trying to eat way less meat. I eat very, very, very little meat, and I'm looking for some other sources of protein besides
Yeah.
a big scoop of 500 calorie peanut butter.
Yeah.
You know?
It has less calorie, it has less fat, and I think it has more protein if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
Yeah.
right
And
there.
don't put your peanut butter in the blender because I tried it.
What happened?
I wanted to make it so bad. I was like, "Oh, you just put the peanut butter in there." My husband, it was all sticky and gummy and a big
But
mess.
You put it in first? You put the peanut butter in first?
Well, that's not the correct way to mimic that flavor because they do use the powder, and I didn't know that. And I had peanut butter, so I just like, oh, bananas, peanut butter, little bit of soy milk, and I'm gonna blend that up, and it's gonna taste just like that Smoothie King place or whatever. That's not the name of the place, but I'm just saying the name of that. And no, it was very sticky, and it made a mess, and then Wendy was like, no, let me show you how to do that. And she she came by and brought me that container, and it was tasted just like the smoothie place. So yeah, it was good. So I think we're all learning. I think I told y'all that too the other day. Like Alexa is she's like my chef, and I'm her sous chef. Like she just tells me what to cook. Alexa, what do we have for dinner tonight? You know, and she spits out something.
Tonight,
Oh,
the shop or amenity in food and drink service business in Kingman, Arizona.
should have said her name.
Should have said her name.
I forgot she was in here. My husband put one in here. I never had one in here. It was usually in the kitchen. Anyway, that's funny. What do y'all think about technology, though? That kind of technology, does it creep you out a little bit, or do you find it helpful?
Well, listen, I'm Alexa because my husband is always asking me, what's for breakfast? What's for dinner? I feel like Alexa, but I don't have one. I don't have Alexa. I don't.
I love it. I love it. When in the morning before I get up, I say, Alexa, turn the heater on. And that's wonderful. That is, and at night, turn the light off. I'm finished reading, turn the light. I love it. Because, you know, they can watch what I'm doing anyway. They don't need Alexa to see me. They got satellites up there if they want me.
Years.
You know, that's how they found OJ, that when he was on the freeway. If they want you, they got you. So
good point.
Alexa or the satellite or somebody, Alexa's helpful.
So maybe I should get Alexa for my husband. So
I love her.
I don't call Alexa.
But you just have to remember not to say her name unless you want her to, talk to you back.
She's gonna answer if you call her.
Yeah, I forget, so I try to call her something else when I'm explaining her to somebody. But
I said, Alexa, play me some Al Green.
There you go. There you go. Yes. And every time now I'm gonna say when I did cruise, because we haven't done that in a minute, I'd come back and I'd tell it to play my cruise playlist that I put in there, and then I'm like dancing in the kitchen, because they dance in the dining room on cruises, and for like a month after I come off the ship, I want to still feel like I'm on the ship. So she helps me with that. But it's fun. It's fun. You can just have a dance party anytime you want. You just tell her to play something. It's
so
cool.
Y'all see how we go from the gamut, from the serious to the ridiculous to the fun, and we just do this, and it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. I love it.
It's very
y'all.
nourishing. Very nourishing.
Yeah. And we had a call this morning, even though we weren't scheduled to have one, because we just miss each other, right?
I missed y'all. I'm sorry. I was like having the DTs, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna put the link, and if they show up, they show up, and y'all showed up.
Oh yeah. When I saw that, I was on it. I was like, okay, because when I get off, I miss you guys. When I get off, when we finish, I miss you. So that was a pleasant surprise.
That's cool. And there's
I
even
would have
people.
been there, but I had work, but I missed out. And
I saw you missing.
Yeah, they called me for work, but today was my 18th anniversary at my job, which is my first career job. So I've been there for a very long time.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to put in the time.
Yeah. Sometimes when you celebrate another anniversary at work, you're like, wow, how much time has gone past? You start evaluating the different things that you're doing in your life. But I am very grateful for the experience that I've had so far at my job. It's been a part of my life for 18 years.
Wow.
Does it nourish
I had a
you?
baby when I started there. My job definitely nourishes me. My favorite thing about my job are the people that I work with.
Okay.
Family.
Yeah, we're definitely a family, literally family, because my brother-in-law works with me as well. It didn't start off that way. He became my brother-in-law later on, after we had been working with each other for a while. But my brother-in-law is there. He's still there. So it's literally family. But even the co-workers who are not related to me have become my family at work. And it's an amazing experience. I know that I would not have that unique group of people anywhere else. And that's what makes me love being there all of these years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my old company, I was with them for 17 years before I came from New York, and they I think they started scheduling like a Friday happy hour, and they still call me. So I was talking to Margie, I think on my son, and I'm like, oh, gotta go. My crew's calling me, so I'm sitting there, we just pouring shots and just drinking and talking and just catching up with each other, seeing what everybody's doing and motivating each other and celebrating our accomplishments and just letting each other know that we're here, even though and it's been two years, but they'll always be my family. The pain thing I
Yeah.
did recently was to an ex-coworker family, so I just feel so good that they just think enough of, they just like, wow, they watched me grow in that. My first like public little art showing was at the company. We were celebrating, I think it was Gay Pride, and we wanted to embrace the diversity in our company and our colorfulness, all of our colors and our gifts and skills and all the talent that we didn't even know that each other had. We found out that some of us were writers, others they played in a band, so we got bands and they just played music. And they're like, yo, your art would be really cool because I love the color. And it's like everybody's like, I'm watching in the corner, like watching what they do and see how they change. And I sold a piece and they're like, you do that? Like all they thought I did was type documents. I'm like, yeah. So it's really cool, but it's to celebrate each other because, we take that, even our coworkers, for granted.
Yes.
They complete, you're part of
Yes,
it,
we do.
Yeah,
I had that happen very early, probably about 10 years ago now, maybe a little bit longer, but I had a coworker who the first interaction with him was a phone interview, and I immediately knew, like sometimes you just connect with someone, and I was like, he's perfect for the position. I just need to have the face-to-face interview as a formality, and I brought him on, and he was with us for about 2-3 years, and he suddenly died. And back then, I would never get very close with my coworkers. I was very quiet and I always stuck to myself. And after that happened, I always promised myself that I would forge friendships with my coworkers because it was so unexpected. And he and I had gotten pretty close. As far as I would let it go, we had gotten pretty close because he was working directly with me for those 2 years, and he was just an awesome person, so I couldn't help but to let him in a little bit. But I could have had an even greater friendship with him, but I didn't do it just because I felt like, oh, we're at work, we're not supposed to be really cool. But now I don't do that anymore. I make sure that any person who's around me that I can touch, I touch, and anyone who can be that I can let in a little bit more, I do that because I don't ever want to have that regret again, ever. Yeah.
And you can still have a relationship with people that you're professional with and still know where the draw the line of respect for their role. And like I consider my ex, she's my friend now, but she was my supervisor, and we knew how to keep it real at work. I gave her the respect. I took her input, her criticism, her direction and guidance. But there were times when I got drunk and I'd be holding on the bowl at work, and she'd be the one I call, and they look at me, all the other administrators, like, what possesses you in that state of mind to call your boss? I'm like, because I know she got me. I don't know. I know we were that close, and we're still that close, and I know that if anything, we've been through some stuff, and she's seen me grow, and she's always wanted nothing but the best for me. One of my greatest, cheerleaders.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible to have a friendship relation and a coworker relationship with your staff. And you just have to know the line. Like, I definitely respect anyone who's managing me. I expect them to respect our relationship and make sure that they push me to do the best that I can do, and that they don't give me an easier time, because I feel like that's doing me a disservice. And so I treat the people that I am charged with caring for the same way. I'm not going to be easy on you because I like you and we have a friendship outside of work. I'm going to make sure that you do the best that you can do and be the best that you can be while we're here. And I expect you to not look at me and say, well, can you give me a break, or can you give me some leeway? I expect you to work that much harder because you say that you like me and you want to be my friend. So, sometimes when I show up for work and I'm present and I do a great job, sometimes it's not for me. Sometimes I'm thinking about my boss, and I'm thinking about, I want to make my boss look good because my boss is so awesome and so amazing.
Yes.
It's all about relationships. And I think that carries that carries on, you know, even at work, you know. I mean, boundaries, of course, need to be set. And I think if you set those boundaries, then it's safe for both parties to be close to each other, for sure. I'm still friends with majority of I was a youth and teen director at the YMCA in our area, and my staff was so much younger than me. I think I had like 11 or 12 staff, and now I can see them with their families and stuff on Facebook here and there. And I think I ran into one of the guys that used to work for me, and he's been at a fitness center now for, gosh, now that I look at it, almost 10 years or more. And just to see that he's grown into this, you know, this very, he loves his job. And I think he's even like a yoga instructor. And it was something he was just getting into whenever I worked with him. He was one of my camp staff, and he filled in at the fitness center when we needed him to. So kind of, if you know anything about YMCA, we cross departments a lot, you know, because it's a not-for-profit. So you kind of utilize your whole staff wherever you can. And yeah, now to see him in that role and very successful. And now that we're doing COVID, I even see his videos, because he works at that fitness center. Now they're going viral using the internet, and I see him doing his classes. And I was like, oh, that is so cool that I was part of his life when he was a teenager, you know, and he worked for me for camp. And that's kind of cool to see him progress like that. And then I had a friend that she went on a cruise with me. We worked together at the Scout office years ago. We both left there and did different things. And she was my cabin mate in October on the cruise. So just relationships.
My Facebook page is full of retired deputy sheriffs and a few LAPDs and retired and stuff. And we have fantastic memories that we share with each other. And it's just really great. And some of my supervisors and some of my coworkers, and we're all just the same now. You know, we're just retired people, and we talk, even those that I didn't get along with and then didn't get along with me. We're friends now, you know. All that stuff is past. We're older, and we're friends, and we just kind of say hi to each other every chance we get.
And I think the older we get too, you know, we value time, and really to stay stuck in being upset with one another is this a waste of time. It really is. Like, if I'm not your cup of tea, well, go find another cup of tea and leave me be. I'll leave you be. You know, it's really that easy. Like, why waste time, like, being upset with somebody? Just let them be, you know? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I was reading the comments. Okay, I have to ask the question. The squeaky toy, whose dog? Is it the dog? I knew I heard it. I'm like, where is that little dog?
You're muted, Millie.
I'm trying not to move, but he just wants to come and play at my feet.
No, our audience needs to know that we are real. My dog is asleep, and if she wakes up, believe me, you're going to hear her. There you go. There you go.
Now she's happy.
There you go. See, people need to know that we're real, and this, you know, we're not scripted. This is us. And we have pets, and we have kids, and yeah. The UPS man might come. It's all about that. Like, except that I don't know what day it is, but anyway.
I know. What day is it?
Wednesday, right?
Wednesday.
Okay. I almost said Thursday.
So I got my stimulus check.
All right.
Did you really?
I woke up
wow.
and checked my emails to see if anything came in, because I'm waiting for work and thinking my boss is going to email me, and Bank of America, what? I'm like, really? And I didn't know what it was. And when I opened, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Wow, so it's real, and it showed up, and
I wasn't expecting it until like months from now.
Yeah.
Are you going to do anything special with it?
Excuse me?
Are you going to do anything?
Go
ahead, Margaret.
Yeah. Okay, so he got his, and Kathleen wants to know if I do anything special. Pay bills. You know, I call the people that I can defer a little bit. So thankfully this month I don't have to make a car payment because we've got it deferred till July. So thank you, Jesus. You know, I asked for help with the mortgage, but I've got, you know, the money, and if I decide to pay it all, I pay it all. And whoever gets a piece, and whoever gets left out is left out. I can juggle with so many balls, and I'm giving it to God, you know, but
Yeah.
I'm thankful for the blessing, and you know, it's always on time. So I don't worry about much. I'm like, you know, so I'm glad. And I'm looking, I hope you go guys get yours soon too. Cause I know that there's stuff to be done.
You know what I found? I found that I'm saving money. My account is getting bigger and bigger because I'm not going out. I'm not spending extra money.
That's true.
So yeah, I have money in my account and I have money in my wallet. I'm like, oh, I think I like this.
Well,
It's a good feeling.
it's amazing how little you spend on gas and, you know, and all of that when you're not going anywhere. I mean, the gas prices are so low right now, and we can't go anywhere. So frustrating.
The most money that I spend is buying supplies for masks. That's where I've been spending money. And so I had to replace some equipment as well, but that's it.
Yeah. Well, my thing is paint. Like I've had a supply of paint for the last 2 years, or it's about a year and a half when I started my course. I ended up buying 2 of everything. But I'm running low, and you know, I'd rather spend a good amount and buy more than to just keep going to Michael's when I can, or Walmart and buying 1 or 2 tubes of anything.
Maybe you know that Home Depot has canvases.
I know, yeah, they do, do. But I'm trying not to.
So the staples.
Do you use primarily acrylic, Millie?
Primarily when I'm in the mixed media mood, and you know what I might try to use, I have oil pastels and collaging, but right now it's primarily acrylics, either inks or just paint. You know,
I order mine from a company in Denver, and it's called Nova Color. And I buy pints and quarts for less than tube colors, and they're more heavily pigmented. It's a fantastic product.
Look back. I have a friend who actually found something similar to that, and I ended up buying like 6 whole big tubs.
Oh yeah.
Colors I don't use, and I still have them. So I have to look into that. But yeah, but it's kind of hard, you know. It's like I'm not spending as much money, but you know, the salary is still, you know, half because I'm the only one, and I'm grateful I'm still getting some income. So I'm really grateful for my job. As much as I, you know, rather not be doing it, I'm glad I have it.
Yeah.
Most of us who are out of work, it'd be, you know, really, really like in a bad way. So I'm grateful for what's in, and I have faith. You know, I take it day by day.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of us are in that situation where we're like, you know, getting creative with the finances and paying attention to what we buy, how we spend. You start turning off all the lights in the house because, you know, like, why you got 2 TVs on? And I haven't gone to like, you know, reducing the cable yet because, you know, like I said, I'm just going to have faith that it'll take care of itself. I'll know when it's time to take that drastic measure, you know, but within the means, I try to cut back where I can, or at least be aware.
I think when we first started, I felt such a great relief that I didn't have to worry about anything because there wasn't anything I could do about it. And I had all this free time and energy and no stress. Well, I noticed that I started to stress. I started to anticipate, okay, I'm going to go back into the real world in a minute. And I don't want that stress. It's been so nice without it, but I can feel myself widen up. I can feel myself projecting into the future and going, oh, wow, here that comes again. And things that I have to deal with that I haven't had to. I mean, there's been quite a reduction in the stress in that way. You know, stressing about other things, right. You know, not being able to see people that I love, but except through Facebook or FaceTime or, you know. But yeah, that was quite an unexpected benefit. Like I said, now I'm starting to wad up again and starting to worry.
Right. It's like we were on vacation and you know your vacation's coming.
Yeah.
I got that anxiety and that anticipation of I'm going to get, you know, by the end of this week. Like I didn't expect to be on the call this morning because I already told you guys that I should be back at work. So our morning schedule, I probably won't be joining, but now it's like every day is like, okay, I'm still what I can. So when you sent out,
I'm glad you were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that felt good. That felt good. I think we go through roller coaster, it's like a roller coaster with this thing because you don't know when, like you said, Kelly, you start preparing to go back into quote the real world, and then some news thing comes along that says, we're going to be social distancing till 2022, and I'm like, whoa, wait, whoa,
No.
and then it just throws you back into this emotional kind of like, the panic. You start to panic a little bit, and this group not so much. But I mean, because we're kind of like, yeah, we can lean on each other and we talk through stuff. And I think the whole group, none of us really watch the news per se every day, not for like hours or anything. Do any of y'all watch it at all? Do you watch?
I watch from time to time. I watch the governor's news conference. I stopped watching the national news conference, and I just watch what's going on in Louisiana, and I catch as much of that as I need, and then I go. I don't watch the whole thing, just what I need.
Yeah, I mean, I literally, I step outside, I'm like, sun's shining, everything's good, but I am blessed to live on 5 acres, so I gotta walk a little ways to see the rest of the world, but yeah, as long as everything's cool. There was a fire down the street from our house yesterday, and that was a little unnerving, but nothing was different than it was before all this. Fire trucks came, put the fire out, everybody's good, nobody's hurt as far as I know. It was just a grass fire type thing, but it's like, oh, there's some sense of normalcy, like things get taken care of, everything's okay. And
my daughter is on 9 acres with horses, and I said, if all else fails, I can go out there. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, and horses are just so relaxing. I love horses.
I love horses too.
Yes. I love
just
that
feel like
little
sometimes they're gonna
muzzle.
start talking. Yeah.
Yeah. People that love horse, they bond. Like you bond with your horse. Like, were you into Avatar? That movie Avatar? Like you totally got the whole bond thing with the whatever that thing was. I don't know what they're called. Yeah. But I was like, oh, that's a horse. Like that's the horse.
Yeah.
I had a horse.
They are magical creatures. They are. I mean, you could just feel them, and their personalities. It's so funny how you can see their personalities if they're in the mood to come out the stable, if they're in the mood to interact with you, if they're greedy and they want to eat a lot and want you to touch them a lot. I mean, they communicate with you without being able to speak the same language, but they are very communicative animals.
Yeah,
I have a horror story with my granddaughter. She was maybe 5 and ran outside by herself, and the horse was at the fence eating. Well, she decided she wanted to feed the horse instead of let him get his own food.
Yeah.
He went for it for a little while, and then he got tired of her. He literally reached down, picked her up, raised her up high. At this particular time, my daughter was pulling into the driveway, and that's what she saw was her baby in the horse's mouth, raised up. All she could think to do was just lay on. Her husband was in the house, but he was doing whatever he was doing. It lay on the horn. The horse didn't drop her. She laid her back down, and it was about, the horse could have hurt her if he had wanted to, but it was like, I want you to leave me alone. And this is how I'm going to teach you to do that. And he shook her around a little bit, and when my daughter laid on the horn, it just laid her back down. And it did not make her afraid of horses. So did you learn something? When somebody's eating, don't mess with their food.
Animals like that. Why are you coming over trying to ask for smooches and stuff? I'm eating. She puts on a eating. I do not look for affection when I have.
If she sees this, she's gonna be so mad at me for telling that story.
I remember one time when I was a kid, I used to do trail rides. We used to board our horses in New York because we lived in a subdivision, so we boarded. And I spent every moment I could. I rode my bike to that barn every day after school. Like that was, National Velvet. Like I wanted to be her, right? I rode English, the whole bit. And I spent lots of time in that barn just talking to my horse and, doing all that. But when you say that They have their own personality. There was one horse in there that he did not like to do trail rides. And that's how I earned money on the weekends. People would come up from the city, little city slickers would come up from the city wanting to go ride in those horses. These people had never been in a saddle in their life. And they wanted to pay $20 and ride a horse for an hour. And I'm like, oh, your butt is going to hurt later. But,
Oh, yeah.
but anyway, I'm like, you might want to do the 30 minutes. And they're like, no, we want to do the hour. I'm like, okay. And I was like 12 years old, and I would ride my horse bareback most of the time on the trail. And they'd follow along with me, and we'd go. And this one horse, and we'd let them pick the horses that they wanted to ride. And this one guy, I said, no, you can't ride him. He doesn't like trail rides. He doesn't follow well. He doesn't like trail rides. And I said, pick a different one. And he was like, looking at me, I'm 12. And he's like, I want to ride that horse. And I'm like, I already told you he's not available. And they're like, no. And then somebody else, another adult came by and said, no, let him pick the one because he has money or whatever. So I was like, okay, whatever. Saddled him up. We started going. And I knew that horse was going to turn around and bolt. Once he passed a certain tree, he knew that he could we were going to be so far ahead, and he'd just walk real slow so he'd get behind. No matter how hard you kicked him, he would just saunter up to that tree. And the minute he hit that tree, I turned back around, and he had already whipped around. And I said, dude, you need to duck. And he's like, duck? And he's like, what? And I said, duck. That horse went right into the barn. I mean, he did it every time. But that man was not going to argue with me, and that horse just stood there and went, like, are we done? Done? And it was so funny to see that man, like, just go, you were right. And I'm like, I told you that 20 minutes ago, but you wouldn't listen, But yeah, those horses they're so smart. They're so smart. And they get what they want. They're 1,200 pounds. Who's going to argue with you, I mean, who's going to argue? But, well, ladies, I think we've actually gone up to the hour.
Yeah, we did.
It's 7:01, so we want to be respectful of everyone's time, including our audience. And hopefully this file will convert, and I can get it up there as soon as possible. So any closing remarks? Or Kathy, would you like to get your bowl ready to close us out?
I would. I'm ready.
Okay.
So, here we go.
Good night.
Night, everyone.
Night.